Hello, everybody, and welcome to an unboxing of something pretty interesting that I picked up at an old thrift store. Um, this is a series of videos I'm going to be doing for the channel Wisdom Studio, YouTube/Wisdom Studio. And the idea is just anything that's really interesting, funky, different. You never know what you might see on this channel, but I hope it will be interesting and entertaining, and so that's my goal for you. So, today what we're going to do is we're going to unbox a game. This is an interesting game. I bet most people have not ever seen this game. And to be honest with you, I hadn't seen it before. It's called Game of the States. And it's a Milton Bradley, and you can tell just by the look of it that it's quite old. I really know very little about this. I did Google it. There's not even a Wikipedia page on this particular game. It's pretty obscure. It came out, I think, from about the 50s to the 70s, and then that was it. It was gone. And I believe this may be the very first edition of the game from 1954. As you can see, it's seen better days. I have no idea what's in it. If it's complete, it's taped up. So we're going to unbox it for the first time and take a look at it and see exactly what's in here. And is this interesting? Is it a cool game, or was there a reason why it's not made anymore? So as you can see, Milton Bradley, ages 7 to 14, called Game of the States. Who sells the most from coast to coast? Granted, I am a little bit cynical. I can understand why this might not be as popular nowadays, because we don't really produce and sell as much stuff in the country. We import a lot. So this is going to be an interesting little glimpse back into time, and let's take a look at it and see what we've got here. So I'm going to bust open this little knife, and I am going to cut this open. We're going to take our first look inside Game of the States. Okay. And there's our rules. I remember when they used to put rules on the inside of the box. Great way so you don't lose the manual. It says, Game of the States for 2, 3, or 4 players. Entertaining, educational, played on a map of the United States. It teaches the location of each state, its capital city, important products, industries, and then there's some cards that show interesting facts, dates of settlement, entry into the Union, population of state and capital city. So it's a kind of a geography game. There's 48 cards, each containing the name of a state. So this set in this game predates the time when Alaska and Hawaii were entered into the United States. So this is, I guess I haven't looked it up, but obviously, let's see if there's a date on here. It says copyright 1956. Okay, so 56. Maybe 56 is the first thing. I saw somebody saying it was 54, but this appears to be the oldest version of the game that I've seen based on its design. And it obviously predates the admission of Alaska and Hawaii into the Union. Somebody can look that up real quick. I am doing this live, so we're just going to see. So the object of the game is to make the most money buying products in one state, delivering them in another state to sell at a profit. Starting the game, each player selects a colored truck, takes 4 product discs, the same color as his truck, and $5,000 in play money, consisting of 8 $500 bills and 10 $100 bills. They shuffle the cards, place them down in a pack on the board. Each player in turn draws 4 cards from the top of the pack and places one of his colored product discs in each of the 4 states drawn by the cards he drew. The players then keep the cards drawn, but turn them face down to avoid any confusion. Each player now draws a 5th card, which shows the state in which to place his truck. Player spinning the highest number on the dial plays first. Okay, so let's take a look before we get further into the thing. So let's look at our thing there, and let's take a look at this playboard. Look at that. You gotta love that beautiful kind of 50s style of graphics. Isn't it pretty neat? Game of the States. And you have all the different products: cotton goods, furniture, poultry, apples, dynamite, copper, books, sugarcane, hay. And I guess near every state you have examples of what comes out of it. Texas, you've got cattle and sheep and oil, and New Mexico, sheep there. Arizona, you've got a bar, I guess, mining. Colorado, there's gold. This is, I guess, during the gold rush. California, timber, fishing, and looks like oranges, and yeah, peanuts from North Carolina. I would think Georgia would have peanuts too, since that's the home of George Washington. Or no, Alabama. Yeah, Mississippi too. Mississippi's got peanuts. Wasn't George Washington Carver? He was from Alabama. Anyway, so this is quite interesting. It's a nice little play here. So let's take a look and see what else is in the set. So we've got, I guess, a kind of just a little insert here. Is there anything underneath it? No. Looks like one part was broken off of it. I don't know if this is actually used in the game or it's just kind of an insert. So now you have a spinner here. I guess this all, like that. 201. So this is what you would use, I guess, to randomly pick certain things. And here's our cards. There's the money. Here's all the little colored chips. And there's the 4 trucks, each truck representing a different color, a different player. And look at these nice little chips. They've actually got carvings in them. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's take a look at these cards. Boy, this is old school. It's not like laminated or anything. It's just little pieces of construction paper cardstock. And you have North Carolina, first settled in 1650, entered the Union in 1789. Top Heel, or Old North State, population in 1950 is 4 million. And the capital is Raleigh at 65,000. So, there you go. So, looks like this game is complete. I've seen some of these sell on eBay, and there's almost always something missing, like one of the trucks or some of the chips. So there's all of our cards. I guess there needs to be 48 of these. I wonder if there's anyone missing. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 48 cards, which is what we'd expect, since this is back when the United States only had 48 states. All right, y'all. Pick a state. Pick a state, any state. And let's try this. Ready? Here we go. Did you guess Vermont? Because that's what I picked. What do you think comes from Vermont? I don't know. It doesn't really say. It just says the Green Mountain State. So this doesn't really tell you what the products are. Okay, so let's look at this Milton Bradley money. One of these $500 bills has seen better days. And this looks to be complete too. There's your 500s and there's your 100s. So, all right. I bet there was a rubber band around this. You could see it kind of decayed and melted down there. And then all of our chips. And it looks like there's maybe 5 per person. And there's some extra green ones. Some of these green ones are different from the others. But yellow, red, blue, green. Yeah, I think the whole game is here. So there you have it. So I guess the way it would work is, so you got two players and you got some trucks and some red chips and some green chips. And I guess each player will pick 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's see. The green player has Mississippi, Maryland. Where's Maryland? Right there. Florida. And Vermont. So this guy is all over the East Coast. Right there, okay. And then this guy's got New Mexico, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Washington. Okay. All right, so shall we read more at the rules and just get an idea of how it works? All right. It says, play begins. The method of trading is as follows. Each player in turn selects a state containing an opponent's product disc, usually the nearest, and spins the dial and moves his truck towards the selected state. The number of spaces indicated on the inner red circle of the spinner. So let's pull this out. And I bet it's a little bit shiny there. I wonder if I can tilt this at a slight angle without making all the pieces fall. Let's see. Is that a little bit better? I think so. Okay. So let's spin this. Let's say player green goes first, and it's 2. Okay, so his truck picks on one nearer the nearest thing. So I'll put my truck on Louisiana. No, was it Louisiana? Oh no, there was only 4 for each player. Okay. So I'll put mine on Maryland right there. Okay, so it's 2. So he can move in the direction of the player based on the red number there. So moves from state to state. Upon reaching a state that containing an opponent's disc, the player may ask him what products he has for sale. The opponent must name a product available in his state and ask the player to name his price. So you'd come over here with Virginia and Ohio. So now I'm in Ohio, and I gotta say, what product is it? And I guess, are you supposed to memorize what products it is? I don't know. Oh, the 5th card shows which state in which to place the player's truck. So we'll skip ahead. So that's so you start out in a different place. Okay. So player green asks player red, what do you got for sale in Ohio? Right? And then it says the player spins the dial and now, using the figure in the outer white circle, agrees to pay the opponent the price indicated. If the opponent feels the price is fair, he sells the product to the player at the offered price. The player pays the opponent with his money, places the product disc in his truck, and immediately draws another card, which designates the state to which the product must be delivered. Okay. So I would say, I guess there's some like interesting kind of little barter exchange that really doesn't matter. You say, what do you got for sale? And, you know, this is where the kids, well, you know, I got tires for sale, you know. Okay, here's how much I'll pay you for it. And you spin that, and it's like $300. So you give the guy $300, and then you put the thing in the truck. So now you got the tires, and then you got to draw another card and says here's where the tires have to be delivered. They got to go to Georgia. So this has got to go to Georgia. Now, then it says the player then pays the opponent to play money. Then it immediately draws another card. On his next turn, the player moves, spins the dial of both his truck and the player does. So then in the next turn, that's when you have to make your way to Georgia. I would think there should be like another little token to show here's your next destination, just so you can keep track of it, you know. And maybe there's some maybe that's what some of the extra tokens are for. So now the thing flips around, and and now the red player draws a card, and he's in South Dakota, which could be a little bit harder to get to places. So now he spins and sees how many moves he has to go. 3. Okay, so he can go 1, 2, 3. You got to wonder how is the moves? Like, can I go to Arkansas, or does it have to be touching? I think it might have to be touching, so you can't. But there's some of these states where they all seem to go together. I wonder if there's all the little rules for that. So I guess this is it. He can't do anything. So now this guy rolls again, and he gets a 1. So now he's one state closer to Georgia. Now it's Red's turn again. Red goes, all right, 2. So he goes 1, 2, and he goes to Mississippi. All right, Mississippi, what you got? And what are you going to pay for it? And you're going to pay $400. So Red gives Green $400, loads up his cotton or his peanuts, and then where are we taking him? Pulls another card out and he says, you're taking him to Kansas. All right, so he's got to go here. So he's got to go to Kansas, and this guy's got to go to Georgia. So Green needs a 2, and he got a 3. So he has made it to Georgia. Now what happens in Georgia? Does the disc just stay there? Let's see. On arriving at the delivery state, the player now sells the product disc back to the opponent from whom he bought it and for what he had contracted to deliver the goods. To complete this transaction, the opponent spins his dial and the selling price is shown in the outer white circle. Okay, so then you give the money back. So I paid you for it. Now I'm going to sell it back to you for $600. I guess you can lose. You can make money. You can lose money. So now the opponent is back there, and now this is where you are. And I imagine the way it works is you just keep playing until somebody runs out of money, till there's a monopoly. Let's see. Player moves the turn at the beginning. All players turn continue buying, delivering, and selling until all the discs have been removed from the map. Oh, okay, so you got to remove all the discs. So that's gone. Removed from the map. Which ends the game. The players now count their money, and the one having the most wins the game. So whoever has the most money, okay. So, interesting game. Thoughts? What do you think about that? Are the rules fair and reasonable, or is it just more like kind of a kid's game? Is there some strategy involved in this or not? It seems to me that whether you win or not is completely based on luck. I don't even know if there's any actual real strategy, because how much you pay is determined, where you start off is determined, where you have to go is randomly determined, and even where things are is randomly determined. So it's just kind of a completely just a game of chance, really. But it could be interesting to take something like this and add some more skill, knowledge things to it, so that you could be rewarded if there was a little bit more creativity or resourcefulness or knowledge on your part. What do you think? Interesting game. Should it have continued to be made? Would it even be relevant nowadays? You know, that's a hard one to tell. But it's a neat little blast from the past. To think somebody was probably playing this in the early '60s. Some kids, you know, and this is all made in America, and pretty cool. So there you have it. There's our first unboxing of Unusual Finds, Game of the States by Milton Bradley. Copyright 1956. And pretty interesting, don't you think? Hard to believe now that something like this would be so entertaining when you think of the state of computer games and all of that, and how elaborate and fancy and dynamic everything is. And I wonder if kids today can be as, you know, as impressed with something like this. I don't know. But anyway, leave your comments in the comment section. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click on the little subscribe button and then the bell to be notified. You never know what kind of video is going to show up here. And let us know what you would like me to do next. Although a lot of this is random. So thank you guys very much. Thanks to everybody who is tuning in. And I hope to see you again soon. Okay?